devices are going to be in 5 years.
Thanks.
Enjoy. By the way, enjoy the phone.
Sorry, I gave that to him without asking. I just made an executive decision.
Hey, it's your conference, rock and roll.
You should take control of these, because I just start doing things, so you decide. You're the decider on these. So
The decider.
Alright, this is a question about Facebook privacy. I'm a high school, or a senior in high school, and I haven't really heard anyone talking about privacy and the privacy issues on Facebook. No one I know is actually concerned with the privacy issues on Facebook from my high school. Do you think that the privacy issue is just exaggerated with people in the tech industry? Because I mean, I log on to Hacker News, and half the articles are on Facebook, then I go to high school and no one talks about it.
Could you just repeat your last 3 sentences? No one at my school cares about the privacy issue. Do you think it's overblown? Is it just a tech journalism issue? I go on Hacker News, etc. And by Hacker News, you meant TechCrunch, I assume. Yeah.
I think it's an issue, and
No, you can't answer this question. Can I answer this question? Sure. It absolutely is being overblown. In a post that I wrote, which was excellent. I'm kidding. But I really believe that the press is making a lot of hay out of this, and the guys like, well, Stovall, he's not. I don't think he's here this morning. It's just we're in a very transformative age right now, and this stuff, Facebook and Google and everyone else are creating platforms that will serve us for the next 100 years with tweaks over the next few years. They need to solidify these platforms. It's not going to be trivial to do this, and there are going to be some issues around it. I just don't think it's as big of an issue as people have made of it. The other problem, though, is that these IMs that Zuckerberg supposedly made in college are coming out at the same time that really make him look like an immature guy in college don't help things, and I think press jumps on that. Do you want to add to that, or is that... that's the way I see it, at least. So.
It's not exactly how I look at it, but yeah. I mean, there's been a massive amount of feedback to a lot of the stuff we've been doing, not just in the last few weeks, but for the last 5 years. The latest one was about people posting their phone numbers to public groups.
Yeah.
And I think a huge part of what we're focused on needs to be making this stuff really, really simple. It's not an easy product design problem, and it's not one that we've nailed.
What he's asking is, do people really care? So has Facebook...
A lot of people really care.
And does that mean, so how many have left Facebook? How many people have deactivated their accounts in the last,
I don't know.
I bet you do know. Oh, this is exactly what I promised not to do to you, but yeah. Well, he did say that tomorrow, I don't know if you caught this in the morning, but he said that tomorrow there'll be new privacy tools to simplify things.
All right, thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Edward Chin from Chat Fane. This question's for Foursquare, Dennis, but it's open to the panel. Meetup, I actually participated in a hackathon over the weekend, and I kind of talked to Meetup. They're doing something really interesting with Meetup everywhere. I was just wondering, is anybody doing anything with topic-based kind of in-person interactivity? I'm very excited about that sort of thing.
So like assembling flash mobs specifically to talk about certain issues, like kind of reproducing some of the functionality of Meetup within Foursquare?
Yes, a very impromptu type of maybe flash mob or even politically activated kind of topics.
Not really. Like we're just starting to see the first really interesting uses come out of it. So we're seeing people that are campaigning for political office using Foursquare to check in and hopefully generate crowds based on that. We saw the Wall Street Journal, who has been doing some branded experiments with us, actually check into Times Square and then report that there was an evacuation. So using Foursquare as a news mechanism. We talked to the Meetup guys, and we're really excited about using that platform specifically for helping to organize Foursquare meetups. We had this Foursquare Day thing that went on last month, that 150 different parties were thrown worldwide, people just getting together and checking in. And that's very strange, but we'll support it, and I think we're going to start using the platform to help encourage things like that. But at this stage, because we're still relatively small, it's about getting users together so they can learn about the platform, teach it to other folks, and then then those interesting edge cases will then I think emerge out of that.
Just as we go to the next question, Jeff Jarvis, I'm sorry, I forgot that I told you. Can you go next? Because your question was, I wanted it up right away. Just
Thanks,
come on
guys,
up.
by the way.
Yeah, just come on up. And sorry, because I wanted you to ask your question.
That's like super VIP.
It's scarier than that. He's reading my mind. What was my question?
Once Jeff Jarvis actually in a fight on stage, first fight I ever had.
But we've
on
hugged
stage.
since, Michael.
And we had a whole year-long cycle of love and hate and everything. But I think we're
Well,
fine.
we love each other.
Yeah. So go
I
ahead.
actually have two questions.
Yeah.
All right. So
Just that good one. Just the first.
when I yell. All right, screw it. Okay, I'm not going to listen to Arrington. So what is the definition of evil?
No, that wasn't the question.
Oh, what was my question?
No, it wasn't that. It was whether Facebook was evil, and the answer was no.
Well, what is it?
Yeah, but I'm asking what is. Here's the argument. Google every day defines what is evil by asking the question, what is evil, right? I think Facebook's dealing with something much more complex
This
than
is
that.
a panel on mobile phones.
Well, you told me what to ask. I was going to ask something different. I was going to say mobile.
Let's go with the mobile question.
All right. So I have a theory, and you have the honor of telling me whether I'm full of shit, which he does all the time.
You are full of shit. Yeah.
Mobile is going to become an absolutely meaningless word very soon, isn't it? Isn't it all about local? Once we have my friend from RIT with the lucky winner of the phone, his view of the phone is always on, always with us in our ear. Doesn't mobile become meaningless? We're just always connected. It doesn't matter what we're connected with, right? And then isn't the real frontier here what's around me wherever I am, what's local?
I think you will have a device. It may not look like the mobile phone today, but you will have some computing device that's on your body. I mean, right now, this is the most personal.
Well, what's the implication of that then? What I'm going to is, what's the next step there? So now we talk about things with phones and his parents checking in and that kind of tiddly little shit stuff, right? When we're always truly ubiquitously connected, and it knows where we are, what's the implications of that? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I still think you're going to have some control mechanism. The form factor may be different. That allows you to, for example, control privacy settings. Do I want to be visible to you? You're going to want to play games. You're going to want to make phone calls. And so I do think that the form factors might change. They may get really small, as you talked about. But I do believe you'll always carry something in your pocket. And that will be the most personal of all computers. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of thinking about this at NYU. Like, all the devices that we have, they talk up to the network and then they talk back down. And, in terms of like, oh, what's the thing that you want in the next generation of phones? Like, you want the stuff that makes it easy just to sniff what's in the room. Like, okay, there's 100 people here. Actually, there's a lot more than that. Who are the people that I need to meet before I get out of here? Like, what's, trading songs with people as you sit next to them on the subway. Like, all this random stuff that comes out of just having, these devices that are kind of ambiently aware of who's near them and the ability to talk to one another as opposed to needing to go up to the network and then talk back down. So.
And now, Michael, would you ask the question that I was supposed to ask?
Yeah, I actually thought you were going to ask something different. You remember you have two phones
I
together.
know, I'm waiting for a really great question.
Okay. This is actually a question directed at all of you. So the people in this room are like the elite of the elite, not just in the U.S., but in the world. And so I'm really curious about your insights about the bottom of the pyramid and how mobile can be a transformative experience, and also how the constraints in places like Africa and India change what you guys do and convert towards innovation. So like zero.facebook.com, I think, was launched just recently, and I was kind of fascinated by the fact you guys kind of had this interesting kind of collaboration with low-cost kind of bandwidth.
Yeah, so zero.com is free. It's a free Facebook data service. Basically strips out all the images and really thins down the amount of bytes we're trying to deliver. And we hope that it'll be transformative in places like Africa, where people still have the needs to connect and share the same way we do here. There's the stories we've all heard of people, who are fishermen and trying to decide which market to go to, and now they know the price, so that they can make a better decision. So there's microeconomics that end up benefiting from really simple, cheap, lightweight mobile services. I mean, we're always focused on like big, massive screens and in-ear stuff. But from our perspective, a lot of our usage, especially in a place like Indonesia, like more of the usage is on the mobile device than on the web.